Here is Muron getting the call around the right end, gets a block. He has the 25, the 20 against the green, the 10, the 5, into the end zone. Will Muron, and just like that, 2 offensive plays, 27-yard touchdown, Will Muron. Cam Orr out of the shotgun, fakes the jet sweep, has a man completely open downfield, and Garza at the 45, the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown, New Lothrop. 65-yard connection to a wide-open Julius Garza. Or takes a step, yep, he's rolling to his left. He's going to throw the high home run ball to the far sidelines. And 0's on the clock. It's incomplete, and that'll end it. The Hornets, Clint Galvas, runs to the field, gets the big bear hug, wins the state championship here at Ford Field. Undefeated title, first time undefeated for a state championship, 3rd MHSAA football championship, 4th overall, counting the 1962 mythical championship, and the New Lothrop Hornets are in mass celebration and well-deserved.
Well, you heard the highlights, and we have the head coach, an outstanding start to his high school coaching career, now 128-15 with a couple of state championships. It got a little dicey at the end, but we have the head coach, Clint Galvas, on with us. And first of all, Coach, how did state championship number 2 compare to number 1?
It was pretty special, and I think obviously the biggest difference, there was no fans on there, so it was a little different feel, to be honest. But I tell you, when we came back into town was when it really kind of hit us, because when we came back, the whole town was just sitting there, waiting for us. And we actually had the bus drop us off right at the beginning of town, and the whole team got off the bus and walked the entire town, which was pretty special. It was kind of a cool sight, and so that was when it kind of really sunk in. And you can tell. I mean, it's a small town like New Lothrop, how much their athletics and football team means to them, and so it was pretty special to actually literally bring the trophy back to the town and the championship back to the town, and just to see that reaction, in our small little town was pretty special.
So just to go back to kind of the season real quick, when it got canceled, probably what was the last time it got canceled before it was restarted again. Can you take me back to when you found out you guys were going to be playing after the district final football game? Because I feel like a lot of people didn't think they were going to play any more games after that. Yeah,
and obviously we always try to, stay positive about the whole situation. But, after that second shutdown, I mean, it felt a little bleak. And how I found out was kind of funny. I was just getting up north to a deer camp, for a late-season deer camp with a bunch of buddies, and got the call as we just got there that we were going to be restarting that following Monday. And so, it was a little bit of anxiety kind of set in a little bit, just anxiousness, like, oh, crap, I got to get this done, and get ready to go. So it was kind of funny how that worked out, because it actually happened the same way when they announced that we were going to have a season, and that was be going into the Labor Day weekend. It was the same situation. I got pulled up north with the family for a big Labor Day weekend, and the football obviously was, kind of at that point hadn't even started and didn't know if it was going to, and pulled in, got a call, hey, you guys are going to be having a football season, and again, it was like, holy crap, like I got, immediate anxiety, because so every time I found out I was hours and hours away, and all I could think about was obviously getting ready to roll, and so it kind of happened both situations the same way.
Coach, you mentioned the support from your community, and I know they weren't at the stadium with you guys, like they would have been if they were allowed to be at Ford Field. But we've talked about on the podcast before. The three of us are from Corona, and we've talked about how big the community support is. That whole community aspect, from our playing days back in high school. How big is that for the kids and for you personally to have a community like New Lothrop behind you, especially in a year, through COVID and through all the delays and everything like that? How big is having?
Oh, I mean, it's everything. It's huge. It just gives you a sense of pride. The kids they want to. It's another motivating factor. You're not just playing for yourself or playing for your team and your brothers, but you're playing for a whole community, and that's the feel that we have. I mean, going into that game, even, before the game, we said that, hey, our fans are going to be here, but better believe, that's who we're playing for, is all those people that wish they were here. And, answer your question, it's huge for us. I mean, it's definitely something that we constantly think about, and we know that they always have our back. So.
Well, I know you're also a big believer on leadership and senior leadership specifically, and you have a lot of talent on that team, obviously, but most of the headlines goes to the big three: Will Muron, Cam Orr, and I mean the kid that had one of the greatest games I have ever seen in my life in Julius Garza. I mean, literally, he left it all on the field, and I mean literally with that from what I saw on the television replay. But just briefly talk about what you were seeing there with Julius Garza.
Yeah, just insane, but at the same time, not surprised. And it's kind of like you. When I went back and watched the game on TV, I was like, oh my gosh! Like you see even how much more he did when you get to watch it again, right? And I mean, even just a block extra point. I mean, all the little things he did was huge. And again, I was really, really happy that Julius got to end his career like that. Obviously, he's a 3-year starter on both sides of the ball, so you knew he was a pretty special kid and had great talent. But obviously all year long with Cam and Will, kind of, were the two-headed monster really all year long. And it was funny because going into that last game, Will and Julius are really close, and Will told Julius before the game, which was kind of funny and ironic. He says, hey, man, they're going to be keen on me today. And he goes, you're going to have one heck of a game. And he told him that before the game. And sure enough, man, they were flying, following Will around. They spy on him all the time. And it really just kind of opened the door for Julius. And I think a lot of people forgot about Julius throughout this year just because of, like I said, it was, Will and Cam had such big years. And for him to go out and, like I said, finish the way he did was just awesome to see. Very deserving. The kid worked his butt off. And he never said a word all year long. I mean, mind you, last year he was first-team All-State on both sides of the ball by the Michigan High School Football Coach Association. This year, he's not even an honorable mention.
Wow.
And so, and it just because it's like, he didn't have the stats that he did, as a junior. So, like I said, I think a lot of people just forgot about him. And then he kind of was like, well, you're going to remember me now. And that definitely left his mark.
To go back to segue away from the state championship game real quick, probably the favorite game I saw you guys play this year was against Schoolcraft. Can you kind of walk me through what the game plan was for that team? Because they had so many weapons on offense, and it probably was a bit of a different offense than you're used to seeing and preparing for on defense because they threw it all over the yard. What was the game plan going into that game?
Yeah, no, we knew. I mean, going into that game, and still, I said, Schoolcraft's the best team, all-around team we played. I mean, they were good up front, and it was the one team that I felt could match us a little bit athletically, and that was what I guess it wasn't, make you nervous, but just that you knew that was going to be, going to be who can win those one-on-one matchups. And because a lot of times we're able to get away, we're able to get Will one-on-one with people, we're able to get Julius one-on-one with people. We'll spread you out, and Cam's obviously a big, strong, athletic kid too. So, going into that game, we felt pretty good defensively that because we felt like our front seven could do enough to get some pressure on them, and we did to an extent. Obviously that kid's an all-state quarterback for a reason, and he made some plays. But I thought defensively we did enough. We created 2 big turnovers, a couple big interceptions that obviously towards the end of the first half there ended up being big. We went on I think we scored 24 points in the final final 5 minutes anyway of the second quarter, which really ended up being the difference. And our defense kind of created that for us and put us in some good situations. And then, obviously Will Miron, I don't know what he had, probably over 300 total yards. And again, it was just getting him, trying to get Will in space, and we were able to do that a couple times. And then, obviously when Will gets a little bit of space, he's able to do big things. And he was able to do that. And of course, up front, I thought we won actually the line of scrimmage on both sides, which I think was the difference. And then just like in the state finals, turnovers are kind of the difference. And we created a couple turnovers. We didn't really turn the ball over. And then, same thing in the finals there. We had, 2 big turnovers in the first half that, again, kind of ended up being a big difference. And, the old cliche, if you don't turn the ball over, you win games. And, we were kind of able to do that throughout the stretch.
The first question I asked you was about community. Another big C word that we talk about on the podcast a lot, culture. And we talk about it with maybe the Detroit Lions need to change their culture. Hopefully they're doing that with a new coaching staff. We talk about it with Jim Harbaugh at Michigan. Maybe he needs to work on changing that culture in the Wolverines locker room. How big is it for you guys? It sure seems like the Hornets that you've established a winning culture there in New Lothrop, you and your coaching staff. How big is it for you guys to know that when the kids come in, they know that they're going to have a chance to probably play for a state title if they play through their senior year playing for New Lothrop, having that winning culture in your locker room?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a whole added confidence for these guys when they truly believe every time they take the field that they're unbeatable. And I don't mean it to sound cocky. It's just this confidence that these guys have that you want them to have. I've always said a confident team is a dangerous team, and I truly feel that we're just always confident. We always feel like we're the better team. We always, feel like every time, we take the field, we're going to win that game. And you're right, it does create a culture of obviously winning, and and that just kind of continues to build on itself. When you continue to win games and things, you get that feeling, you get that confidence, and but it doesn't come without a lot of work. That's one thing we preach is, hey, we will not let any team outwork us, and that's something our coaching staff continues to tell them, and they believe that. They believe they deserve to win every game because they've done all the work necessary to win it. They believe they've outworked everyone they play, so they deserve to win. So just to kind of have that, it's a huge mental mindset as much as anything. Obviously, physically, we'll be there physically, but I think, we play against a lot of teams that are physically could probably match us in some ways, but I just think mentally we have an edge in, most games probably, because the kids believe they've already outworked their opponent. They've already believed that they're better than them, and that I think that goes a long ways on that mental edge.
You kind of were talking about earlier in the Schoolcraft game how a lot of what you do now is almost like trying to get one-on-one matchups on offense. You guys used to run like this under center sort of option attack, which I used to love. What was kind of the decision that made you kind of alter to more of like a spread attack? Why'd you change that?
Yeah, my thing is I felt like, and sometimes it's constantly different too, and we add wrinkles here and there depending on your personnel, and I think that's what you got to do. You got to kind of make your game plan for what you have, and I think in the past, number of years now, we've had some pretty good talent. We've had really good speed. I think our team speed the last probably decade has been almost unmatched in our division. There's a few teams here and there like Loyola and things like that that can match us a little bit speed-wise, but the reason we kind of switched to that is because I felt like it just did a better job of getting our athletes out in space. And when we were able to do that, obviously big things happen when you can get them one-on-one matchups. A lot of times we're going to win those one-on-one matchups. And then at the same time, the last, 4 or 5 years, we've had some pretty big physical quarterbacks where we can run, read stuff and get these big guys coming downhill. And, and between Avery Moore and Cam Moore, there's a couple big loads coming downhill. And, and so that's been a big reason, too. We've gone to a lot of what we've done offensively is because of the personnel we've had at quarterback, too.
One last question for me. You were a coach for a couple years before you ended up at New Lothrop in the Flint area. How did you end up coming to New Lothrop, and what was the job interview like, and what made you want to get that job in the first place?
So, I was originally at Montrose for a few years doing freshman JV football. And, obviously I played at Montrose. And then I got my first teaching job at Hamady. So I went over and obviously was teaching there. So I was coaching with Nate Williams, who became a great mentor of mine, still a great friend to this day. And I was coaching under him. And then he took the Carmen Ainsworth job. And I really had no ambition, to be honest. I always loved coaching football. I just wanted to be a coordinator. But that job, he left late. It was like June. And then didn't have anyone. So I was like, all right. So I knew the kids and the personnel, so I stepped up and took the head coaching job, at Hamady. And record-wise, obviously, we didn't do very good. We were 1-8. We lost, I think we lost like 4 or 5 games by a touchdown or less, and we struggled. But I felt like I learned a lot as a coach and as a person, and kind of, I think, helped me, it helped me in the long run, to be honest. But after that first year of head coaching, I had always lived out here. I'm 10 minutes from New Lothrop. The job opened up. I kind of threw my name in the hat, and and got a call for an interview. And went in there for an interview, and I remember going in there, and I was all gung-ho about, talking about football and, my ideas and all these things. And it actually turned into more of, they were more interested in what I would bring to the PE and health side in the school. And so I quickly tried to transition to start talking about teaching. And I think ultimately that's why they hired me at New Lothrop, was more for teaching, because my teaching and what I thought, what I could bring as far as that goes. But like I said, I've always been grateful to New Lothrop. They brought in a 1-8. My record at the time was 1-8 when I came to New Lothrop. And I was 25 years old, I think. So 25-year-old, 1-8 coach. I know a lot of people were kind of scratching their heads, like, what are they doing? So like I said, I'm forever grateful for that. And, obviously I was able to kind of put a staff, which I think is the best staff in the entire state. I truly, we were just a bunch of best friends that coach football together. There's no egos. Everyone just wants what's best for the kids. They want to win games and build, young men and young men and character. Obviously build character, and that's the stat that we have around us. We put in, I think, more time than anybody as far as game planning and that goes, and I think that's what's kind of, ultimately led to the success we've had over the last 12 years here.
Well, I'll wrap it up with you here, Coach. It speaks for itself. We talked about it at the very beginning, 128-15, 2 state championships. Who knows what the future holds for you? It sounds like you're really happy in New Lothrop. You're raising a family there. Inevitably, if you keep up this kind of success, there could be other possibilities for you. Have you thought about that at all down the road?
Yeah, I mean, as we've had success, those opportunities, they come knock, people knock and try to feel you out and ask, but just like you just answered the question there, I mean, I'm happy at New Lothrop. It's a great community. I got tremendous support. I got the best staff in the state. My kids go there. I'm content. I'm happy. And I don't foresee going anywhere else. And that's where I'm at right now.
I actually have just one more question for you, Coach.
Yeah.
You are obviously a really successful coach, but who are some coaches that you maybe look up to and try to kind of copy either their philosophy or their playbook and X's and O's wise?
I watch a lot of college football,
mm-hmm.
and if I'm watching games, I love watching Clemson. I love watching Ohio State. I mean, that just they do the same thing. I mean, and I steal stuff from them all the time. I mean, as far as trying to get their athletes out in space. I mean, Alabama did it this year, right? I mean, and so I don't know if I could pick one in particular scheme wise, but as far as philosophy and what coaching is all about, I mean, I wouldn't be coaching if it wasn't for Dennis Ryder and Montrose, if it wasn't for me coaching under Nate Williams,
mm-hmm.
and then David Beasley, my wrestling coach. I mean, in high school, they just and them guys just. I don't know. They taught me a lot about that. It's a lot more than X's and O's, and I'll forever be grateful. And I think that's why I coach today, because of those guys I had the privilege of coaching with and playing for. So.
Well, I will tell you this: whoever you learn from, and it sounds like you learned from some good ones. You, as far as I can tell, from what I've seen, I'm an old timer. You have the most diversified high school playbook I think I've ever seen. I mean, you come at all different angles, all different kinds of plays, and it's just fun to watch, Clinton. It's been fun to watch your career so far, and we really appreciate you taking time out to join us. And I know you got to get to some rabbit hunting, so we'll let you go with that.
No
all right?
worries. No, but hey, guys, I appreciate you having me on, and for all the coverage you guys did, that was huge. I know our listeners love listening to you guys. I love going back and listening to the game afterwards, too. I have a good time doing that, and I just appreciate all the love and coverage you guys give me a little bit.
All right, Clint. Again, thanks for the time, and we'll catch up with you down the road. Rivals Tap House and Grill, the official sports bar of 3 Point Podcast. Keep supporting them by calling in your takeout orders. That's Rivals Tap House and Grill in Corunna at the corner of M21 and State Road. Sheridan Auction Service always has a wide variety of items and real estate on the docket. Stay up to date by checking their website at SheridanAuctionService.com. Looking out for you, Sheridan Auction Service. Nelson House Funeral Home's top goal is to serve the families in our community. The number one priority is caring for our friends and neighbors and being right there when you need them the most. Check out more information on the web at nelson-house.com. Success Group Mortgage and Servicing is a mortgage and land contract services company that is focused on your success. The home financing team has over 25 years experience in origination of all types of loans. Led by Jim Woodworth, Success Group Mortgage provides one-on-one service with a personal touch. You're not lost in the crowd like working with a mega-sized bank. Every transaction is given complete attention from the very beginning to the end. Located in downtown Owasso, call today for an appointment at 989-720-4380 or find more information on the web at successgroupmortgage.com. Advanced Elevator Company have the very best trained professional field technicians and project management for installation, troubleshooting, and repair of elevators in the entire Midwest. Conveniently located with world headquarters in the heart of Owasso, Michigan. The Janka family are longtime huge supporters of the Corunna Public Schools. Advanced Elevator Company, area business leaders and proud member of the Shiawassee Regional Chamber of Commerce since 2000. Success Group Mortgage and Servicing is a mortgage and land contract services company that's focused on your success. Led by Jim Woodworth, Success Group Mortgage provides one-on-one service with a personal touch. Located in downtown Owasso, call for an appointment at 989-720-4380 or find more info on the web at successgroupmortgage.com. Hankard Sportswear is the area's top clothing and more printing business. Located in the heart of Owasso at 116 West Exchange Street. Give them a follow on Facebook at hankard.sportswear.